The road. It is the lifeline of civilization. It connects steppe and city, land and sea, countries and continents, ensuring communication in every direction. Well, basically, all the work is here. The whole life of a trucker is out here on the road. What is the logistical potential of Uralsk, the western gateway of Kazakhstan? As of the end of 2024, the trade turnover between West Kazakhstan region and the Russian Federation amounted to $755 million, of which exports accounted for $146 million. Which countries receive goods exported from Kazakhstan? Looking ahead, we plan to expand our product deliveries to the Baltic countries. We also aim to grow our presence in Romania and Moldova, as these regions are quite large and have significant potential. West Kazakhstan region is one of the country's key logistics hubs, known as a primary trade gateway between Kazakhstan and Russia. The region boasts a developed transport infrastructure, 1 airport, 2 railway checkpoints, 6 highway border crossings, and 19 additional transit points that simplify cross-border movement for the population. More than 40% of goods entering Kazakhstan from Russia pass through this region. Likewise, over 60% of Kazakhstan's exports to Russia originate from West Kazakhstan. Alexander Kovtun, who now transports cargo between Uralsk and various Russian regions, began his career as a city bus driver. When the pandemic hit and he lost his job, he turned to freight transport, eventually moving into international trucking full-time. I've been in this field for 5 years. I mostly transport cargo from Uralsk to Moscow and other Russian cities. And I also haul goods from Russia to Kazakhstan. We bring dried fruits to Russia and, in return, dairy products, frozen chicken and meat. I currently have a second track loading in Moscow for delivery to Uralsk in Kazakhstan. We find cargo on Fafa, our Kazakh logistics website. Our local dispatchers post loads there. We look for one that suits us best in terms of price and rates, agree on the terms, and get to work. Here we are, arriving in the terminal entrance. Document check is about to begin. Hello? Are you the last in line? Hello? Covering long distances and delivering valuable cargo on time is already a serious responsibility, but the real challenge lies in dealing with inspections and customs checks along the way. Alexander shared in detail the difficulties the truck drivers face during international hauls.
Здравствуйте. Уральск, Москва, сухофрукты, 20 тонн. Бывает, конечно, трудности, бывает непогода.
There are definitely challenges: bad weather, blizzards, road closures. Then there are the long lines at the border that stretch for kilometers. We can be stuck there for days. And of course, we miss our families. Sometimes I'm away for 2 or 3 days, and my daughter calls saying she misses me. Dad, when are you coming back? So I try to get back as soon as I can, to spend more time at home. But most of our life and work happens here, out on the road. Last year, 606,000 vehicles entered Kazakhstan from Russia, with 245,000 passing through the West Kazakhstan region, over 40% of them being trucks. On the outbound side, 401,505 vehicles left Kazakhstan for Russia, and 240,311 of them, or 64.8%, crossed through West Kazakhstan region. Notably, 63.5% of those were freight vehicles. Here is an interesting fact. 90% of this traffic passed through the Surim border checkpoint, which connects Kazakhstan with Russia's Samara region. Its current capacity allows for up to 800,000 vehicles per year, 75,000 per month, and 3,000 per day. Located in West Kazakhstan, the Surim checkpoint is one of the most important border hubs between Kazakhstan and Russia. It plays a strategic role in cargo and passenger transit within the Eurasian Economic Union, serving as a vital corridor for goods that ultimately reach destinations around the world. Currently, around 90% of our customers are in the Russian Federation, and about 5% are in Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia. We ship our equipment to Russia by track through the Mashtakovo border crossing. From there, it's distributed to different cities depending on the location of our dealers. As for shipments to Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia, we use a border route through Ural, passing through Astrakhan to reach Azerbaijan. And from there, it goes on to Georgia and Armenia. We've also had experience delivering to Moldova. That time the shipment went via the port of Aktau. The clients sent their own track, which traveled first to Azerbaijan, then to Georgia, Bulgaria, and finally reached Moldova. The route passed through a logistics hub along the way. Western Kazakhstan is primarily known as the country's largest exporter of hydrocarbon raw materials. In addition, the region exports petroleum products, flour, canned meat, pasta, sausages, pump compressor pipes, transformers, and various components and spare parts for oil and gas equipment. However, this work often comes with logistical challenges. Nurjan Utibayev, head of the Department of Entrepreneurship and Industrial Innovative Development of the West Kazakhstan region, spoke about the government measures in place to support exporters and promote exports. Our exporters do face certain challenges when exporting goods. One of the key issues is the long delays, up to 3 days, at the Surim border crossing when entering the Russian Federation. These delays are caused by lengthy checks carried out by Russian border authorities. At the same time, we're actively working to inform local exporters about available government support mechanisms, including state programs that help reimburse some of the export-related expenses. These are administered through JSC Trade Policy Development Center Trade. Meanwhile, Kazexport focuses on improving labor productivity with the support of the Kazakhstan Center for Industry and Export, Kazindustry. To unlock the full transit potential of any region, especially in road logistics, well-maintained highways are essential. When long queues at checkpoints are compounded by poor road conditions, transport is delayed, and the entire logistics system begins to break down. Despite these challenges, the region is actively developing its road network through the construction of new roads and the reconstruction of existing ones. Improving the quality of transport infrastructure significantly boosts both export and import volumes. At the moment, we are planning a number of road development projects, including construction, reconstruction and major repairs. Specifically, we have 70 kilometers of regional roads and 152 kilometers of district roads scheduled, 225 kilometers in total. This year, 38.8 billion tenge has been allocated for these projects. The full amount is expected to be utilized within the year, as the necessary funds were disbursed early on. Advance payments were made, and during the winter, contractors delivered the needed materials, both inert and binding, so that work could begin without delay. Honestly, I don't really know the exact regulations by number, but the usual procedure goes like this. First, we go through the tax control, then passport control, and if we are carrying veterinary cargo, we go through a veterinary check. If there is a plant cargo, then we go through a phytosanitary inspection. Like now, that's what we are about to do. And then, that's it, final inspection and exit. When transporting frozen meat from Russia, it's the same process. Veterinary check, passport control, tax, inspection, and exit into Kazakhstan. We're currently reconstructing the Podstepnaya Fedorovka Russian border highway. This route leads directly to the Orenburg region of the Russian Federation. We're in the final stages of construction and expect to complete and open this section within the year. In addition, based on instructions from the Security Council of the Republic of Kazakhstan, we're also carrying out reconstruction work at several automobile border checkpoints. We have taken an in-depth look at road transportation and its role in the logistics potential of West Kazakhstan. Now, let's turn to rail and air transit in Uralsk. Last year, over 33 million tons of cargo were transported by rail in the region. It's also worth noting that 26% of all Russian freight passes through the territory of West Kazakhstan. The main railway line runs through the northern part of the region, connecting it with Russia. In addition to oil products, the region exports flour, meat, canned goods, pasta, sausages, crankshafts, pump and compressor pipes, transformers, and various spare parts and components for oil and gas equipment. But above all, our region is known as a major exporter of hydrocarbon raw materials. By the end of 2024, West Kazakhstan's trade turnover with the Russian Federation reached $755 million, of which 146 million accounted for exports. Compared to previous periods, this represents a steady increase. The Manchuk-Mametova International Airport in Uralsk, which underwent reconstruction in 2022, now serves over 540,000 passengers annually. By 2026, this figure is expected to reach 600,000. The development of air transportation plays a significant role in advancing the region's export-oriented plans. Our current export forecast for 2025 stands at $340 million. To achieve these targets, we are planning several export-oriented projects. The president of our country has set a clear goal to launch new, import-substituting, high-tech initiatives. Therefore, this year, we will be commissioning a new project in the region. The launch of such projects will not only drive export growth based on existing enterprises, but will also ensure that the planned targets are met. The development of local enterprises combined with foreign investment and the arrival of international companies in Uralsk is undoubtedly strengthening the region's logistics potential. One of the new projects announced by Nurjan Uttebayev is the construction of a plant for the production of enameled aluminium wire with a capacity of 250 tons. This project is being implemented by the Italian company Sigme. Launching such initiatives at existing production sites will further boost exports and help fulfill the region's strategic goals. Looking ahead, we plan to expand our product deliveries to the Baltic countries. We also aim to grow our presence in Romania and Moldova, as these regions are quite large and have significant potential. It remains crucial to continue strengthening the logistics potential of West Kazakhstan, particularly in the city of Uralsk. This is supported by the region's export forecast for 2025, which stands at $340.4 million. One of the main advantages of transport corridors running through Kazakhstan is the significant reduction in travel distances. For example, fully utilizing the route between China and Europe via Kazakhstan cuts the transportation distance in half compared to the sea route, and by 1,000 kilometers compared to a transit through Russia. Kazakhstan sits at a global crossroads between North and South, East and West, a position that offers the country a unique strategic advantage. This is why the transport and logistics sector is expected to become one of the key drivers of Kazakhstan's economic growth.